Well, just when you thought the self-proclaimed king had reached every humiliating low point imaginable, he confronted ESPN's Stephen A. Smith in a pathetic, profanity-laced tirade in the middle of a recent game between the Lakers and Knicks.
Stop effing with my son. That's my effing son. Stop effing with my son.
Yes, LeBron was all up in his feelings because Stephen A. had the audacity to criticize Bronny recently on his show First Take.
Obviously, since he brought up his son, he was piggybacking off of what I had said weeks ago.
Smith, meanwhile, was just minding his own business, not even there in a professional capacity, but rather was taking in the game and watching his Knicks with, of all people, Larry David.
And I was a guest of his, sitting at the game with him and Larry David.
In an absurd exchange befitting an actual episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I said, we can talk about it later. Nah, F that. Stop effing with my son. That's my son. That's my son.
Pretty good.
Now, while you may think this is insanely pathetic and tone deaf on LeBron's part, and well, you wouldn't be wrong. I mean, who the hell is LeBron to call anyone out for being critical of his scrub son? After all, Bronny is an NBA player, and he is an NBA player only because he clearly rode that nepotism pony into the league on his daddy's bootstraps. So if you don't like the criticism, LeBron, perhaps you shouldn't have put him in the position to be criticized in the first place. But sharing a piece of the pathetic pie here is none other than Stephen A. Smith, as you simply will not believe what he had to say about this entire situation. But first, please make sure you are subscribed at this time and turn those notifications on to keep up with my random release times. But back to preeminent LeBron jock-sniffing apologist and all-around stooge Stephen A. Smith, who was just slobbering over his king less than a week ago.
Meaning longevity, a sustained level of pristine excellence. LeBron James is the GOAT.
Yeah, he went on record recently to give his side of the story on the altercation between he and James.
Now let's get to a subject that's apparently gone viral on social media today, and it also involves yours truly.
And Stephen A. actually wanted to defend LeBron.
And I want to defend LeBron on this point.
And wow, this is just one more pitiful little entry into Stephen A.'s book as well.
I get it, I'm sorry. I'm also sorry that this all had to happen.
Ultimately though, Stephen A. is just really sad.
That makes me sad.
And doesn't blame LeBron at all for his behavior.
But I'm not here to blame LeBron James. That wasn't a basketball player talking to me last night. That was a dad.
A classless and embarrassing display by James to chastise Stephen A. on national television for just doing his job essentially. But as Smith highlighted, what better reason could James have had for his actions?
And what better motivation could there be than to be protective of his son?
What better reasons indeed? Well, Stephen A. went on to postulate his own little theory.
Some would say a manipulator and all this other stuff. They swear he knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, this raises a very good point. And as Stephen A. Smith points out, LeBron's agent and bestie has his personal phone number. It wouldn't have been very difficult for LeBron to reach out to him personally and talk about this in privacy.
It's very easy for one of them to have called me in to say, LeBron wants to see you, he wants to talk to you face to face, man to man.
But that isn't the way it went down. LeBron had to do it on a national platform.
He knew the cameras were rolling. He knew that somebody would find him. It was a nationally televised game. It's LeBron James, and he's rolling up to Stephen A. Smith.
But for what possible motivations? Just more attention for the league's preeminent drama king? No press is bad press, LeBron? Although this looks like terrible press to me. A guy who hijacked his franchise this past summer, forced them to draft said scrub son, and now putting people on blast for calling out the specifics of what he did?
That he was aching to confront me about.
That in the midst of Bronny continually stinking it up on the NBA stage. Though even when Stephen A gets punked down like a little bitch, he just can't help but let his bootlicking tendencies shine through. Not only defending LeBron,
and I want to defend LeBron on this point,
but also giving Bronny his proper respect.
I wasn't really concerned about Bronny. I think Bronny's going to be an NBA player. I think he's got potential. And what he was doing in the G League, I think he's got a lot of promise. And I just interviewed Jeannie Buss right on this podcast, and she was raving about him. And they wanted him to be a part of the Lakers organization for a long time. That's where it starts. I get it.
Stephen A went so far as to indicate he thinks Bronny deserves the money from the NBA because LeBron hasn't been compensated well enough.
You're LeBron James. You are underpaid. You are LeBron James. You deserve more money than you're getting paid. You're LeBron James. I don't give a damn how much money they paid Bronny. He could get it. He should get it for you because, damn it, you should have gotten more because of what you've done for this league.
And what in the hell is this guy rambling on about? Bronny was capitalizing on Daddy's name with big NIL deals on the college level. And Bronny is more than welcome to suckle off Daddy's teat and dip his beak into that generational wealth the chosen one has amassed. Not well compensated enough, LeBron has made over $500 million just from on-court contracts alone throughout his career. Factor in his other investments and brand deals, and the self-proclaimed GOAT has a net worth of over $1 billion. That isn't enough. We have to put his family members on the Lakers' payroll as well.
That's outrageous.
Incredible take here by Stephen A. And just what the hell is the motivation for Stephen A. Smith's humiliating groveling here at the fake king's feet? Could it be because Steve, who is buddy-buddy with half of the NBA players, are now shunning him? At least a few players are retaliating on behalf of their king. Most notably called out by Stephen A. was former fake tough guy enforcer Draymond Green, who has transformed himself into Clutch Sports plant and LeBron's sycophantic jock sniffer.
I think one player in particular was Draymond Green, who I haven't spoken to since, and has no desire to speak to me primarily because of this, I suppose.
Yes, don't mess with Dre's king. I wonder if these two losers each have half of a BFF heart pendant or one another's initials tattooed on each other. Also springing into action to get his former teammates back was Kevin Love, who responded to a recent tweet by Stephen A. in which Smith explains that he didn't even want to talk about this, but that he had to.
I work for ESPN, and ESPN called me this morning and said, "What you mean you ain't talking about it? You most certainly have to talk about it."
Yeah, but longtime LeBron confidant Kevin Love wasn't buying that excuse and sent out his own tweet replying to Smith.
Kevin Love, LeBron's former teammate in Cleveland, throws out this tweet.
And seriously, what the hell is going on here? Just what kind of sorority is the NBA running these days?
It's a complete crap.
This is the reason viewership is plummeting to unprecedented low points. This in a nutshell, because the league is populated by soft-ass little and sadly enough, the league is also being covered by them too. Covered by them and paid handsomely to do so.
I'm also sorry that this all had to happen on the day my new contract extension was announced.
The new contract Steve is alluding to here, by the way, yeah, it is robust. How does 5 years, $100 million grab you? Guys, it doesn't have to be like this. Are you not tired of watching these sycophant jock sniffers who may or may not actually be on LeBron's own payroll endlessly drooling over him, such as Stephen A's partner in crime, Shannon Sharpe? More on him, by the way, in this video. And if you do tire of these fools, well, damn it, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and stay tuned for more from me. Until next time.